Hi everyone, I'm Ted and welcome back to the Swedish mountains. Spending time outdoors in winter can be a really awesome experience, but it's also really crucial to dress correctly so you don't start to sweat and of course you don't want to start to freeze either. So today we're going to talk about layering and how to dress for sub-zero temperatures. So the principle is pretty much the same as in the summer. The main difference here is that we have a few more layers to choose from, and we really want to be careful when we decide to change between the different layers. It's always going to depend on what we're doing. If we're standing still, we want to put more clothes on, and if we're going to move around, we want to take off a few layers so we don't start to sweat. So let's go through the first layer, the base layer. So the two base layers that I'm wearing right now are made out of wool. I really prefer that because it's a natural material, it's odor resistant, and also if they were to get wet, they will still retain the heat better than a synthetic material. So when it comes to mid layers, we have a couple of different options. We have the wool knit, we have fleece, we have synthetics, we have down, and we have the wool padded. So let's start with the wool knit. So the wool knit is a really nice option if you're doing slow pace activities like taking your dog for a walk or you're spending time outdoors in the winter. I also like the wool knit because it will definitely keep you warm. But if you're doing more high-paced activities or you're going up a mountain or a steep hill, I would like to go with something a little bit more technical. So let's move over to the fleece. So the fleece is actually one of my favorite pieces of mid-layer. I really like this one because it has reinforcements on the shoulders. The fit is also really nice and it's easy to put it on over your base layer. And also if you want to add an extra layer on top of this, it's really thin and you can easily do that. But the thing that really sets the fleece apart is the hood and the front zipper. So you're able to get all the air in if you want to cool down a little bit. And then if you want to keep warm, using the hood, closing it all the way up, get really nice and toasty. Another thing that's important is your back. So taking a look here, you can see that the fleece goes further down your back. So even if you were to bend forward or move around, you're still going to capture a lot of heat here. All right, so let's dig into the padded options. Starting with the synthetics. This is the Fjällräven light insulation jacket. This is a really nice synthetic jacket for damp conditions and also it's really easy to wash. So if you find yourself in wet conditions, this is a really nice jacket. Today is pretty cold and it's also dry, so synthetics might not be the perfect option for this type of environment. Next up, we have the Keb wood padded jacket. It has the same features as a synthetic jacket. It's really packable, it's lightweight, but it's also odor resistant and it can retain heat a whole lot better even if it were to get wet. But we also have an option for even colder days. So let's take a closer look at the down jacket. The down jacket is a perfect option for colder and dry days. It offers a lot of insulation, but it also has a low packing volume. So this is the jacket that I would go with for a day like this. The more layers you have on you, the more air you're able to capture. So right now we have two base layers on and we also have two mid layers on. This is something that you can really adapt and you can really stack up as much as you need depending on your activity. The intention of the mid layer is to keep you warm. It's designed to capture as much air as possible. So when it comes to shell layers, we have two options. The G1000 option is perfect for sub-zero temperatures when the risk of rain is minimal. And then we have the Eco Shell. It's perfect for windy and rainy situations. So this is the Vida Pro jacket. It's made out of G1000, so it's perfect for high-paced activities in temperatures below zero. It's really breathable, but it's also very hard wearing. So thorns and branches will not be a problem for this jacket. But today our plan is to go above the tree line where it's going to be windy. So we're going to switch over to the Eco Shell layers. So here we have the Fjällräven Eco Shell jacket. This jacket is designed for rainy and windy days. Something to consider is that this jacket is not as breathable as the G1000 options. That's why it's really nice that it has ventilation here on the side so you can let out the excess heat. Another nice feature on this jacket is the two-way front zipper. You're really able to ventilate in the front as well. Last but definitely not least, we have the insulation layers. They are designed to keep you warm when you're not moving, when you're doing low-pace activities, such as taking a break or when you find yourself at the end of the day. So when it comes to insulation layers, we have two different options. This is the synthetic option, the Fjällräven insulation jacket. And then we have the down version. This is the Expedition down jacket. This jacket will definitely keep you warm in all kinds of winter situations. It gives you a lot of confidence. By putting this on, you know that you create a huge difference between yourself and the elements of the outside. Another really cool option is the Fjällräven mummy foot. It's meant to be used when you're standing still, such as when you're climbing it and you're belaying your friend. The mummy foot is obviously not designed to move around in, at least not effectively. To be as effective as possible, you need to think about your hands, your feet, and your head. So starting with my feet, I have a thin liner sock, and then I have a mid-layer sock, and then I have a really thick sock. And then at the end, of course, I have my insulated winter boots on. All of the layers that I use on my feet are made in wool. So in the lower part of my body, I'm wearing a shell layer, I got my Vita Pros on, and beneath that I have 2 base layers. And then around my throat, I use a neck gaiter like this. The same thing goes for my hands. I start out with a thin liner glove, and then depending on my activity, these are more work skiing gloves, and if I'm not doing any work, I will probably be using these thicker gloves. And the same thing goes for your head. Right now I'm wearing a thinner liner cap. You can vary everything with your hood, or you can use a thicker cap if you need to do that. So when it comes to layers, the key to success is your ability to adapt for the different situations that you find yourself in. It's really important to adjust your layers depending on the activity that you're doing. If you're moving around a lot, you don't want to be wearing a lot of layers. A thin base layer combined with a shell layer can really do the trick if you're in a really high-paced activity. But when you stop for the day or you're taking a break, you want to really put a lot of clothes on to retain the heat as good as you can. Using layers in the right way is really important when you're outdoors in winter time. So if you guys have any questions, please just post them down below and we'll answer them as soon as we can. So that's all for us now, folks. We're going to go up this mountain, so I'm going to change into the correct clothes and then we're going to get on our way. See you guys later.